I'm Kevin Kresge with FinishLineMultisport.com, and to my right I have Pete Jacobs, professional triathlete. Pete, why don't we get to know you a little better so people in North America know who you are? I mean, they hear you racing the Ironman distances around the world, but why don't you give us a little bit of background, where you're from and what sports you played growing up?
I grew up in Sydney, Australia, and I grew up, I learned to swim when I was about 3. My family's very active. I've got an older brother and older sister, so I kind of followed in their footsteps a bit. And then we went into surf lifesaving, so a lot of swimming, and then as I get older, start board paddling, ski paddling through the surf also, and doing the surf lifesaving Ironman events in Australia. And then once I turned about 18 and I got a job, finished school, started working as a apprentice landscape gardener, I started getting into triathlon and pretty much just wanted that challenge of, not the luck of the surf. And I also really always loved the run, and there's not a lot of running in the surf events, so triathlon was a good challenge to see what where I could push my abilities to. So that was a 4-year apprenticeship landscaping, and then after that I've been full-time since. And that's been about 6 years now or something, and it's flown by. There's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of tough times, but I've really just started to really find what works for me. Obviously, with my run leg the other day, I'm really starting to really enjoy the run and get my natural ability and training at a really top level now.
What was it about the sport of triathlon that drew you to it?
The challenge of the 3 events. I always swam. I was always a good swimmer. I always just loved to run and was a good endurance athlete. Cross country at school was my event. Put me in a 100-meter sprint and I'd be last, but every year I could win the 5K cross country event. And then, riding a bike was just a nice social thing to do, and another challenge, something new to learn when I was about 18 or 19. And I'd done a few when I was younger and growing up, and when you're young and you do a triathlon when you're young, it is just amazing to do 3 sports all in one go. Just incredible. It's a real buzz. So I'd really enjoyed that when I was younger, and then as I got older, it seemed like a good thing to do and do professionally for a while, travel the world a bit. And then, I've kept at it, just trying to improve my results constantly, and that constant, just trying to get to the top.
When you think of your career up to this point, what do you feel is your favorite accomplishment?
Saturday's run for me. I ran 2:41, had the fastest run of the day here in Hawaii, and I trained for that. That I had the best block of training I've ever done leading up to this event. I was running better than ever, and I knew that, and I really wanted to reach my potential running in an Ironman, and I think I accomplished that yesterday. So now I've just got to put together the without getting a 4-minute penalty on the bike and that sort of stuffing up my race. Just put the swim bike run together next time. But yeah, definitely I think just that run to prove that I can do it. I don't mind the heat here, because I think that's the ultimate goal for me, is why I do this sport, is that I want to win this race.
So you've got 2 top 10 finishes under your belt, and now you say you had the 4-minute penalty, and obviously it would have boosted you forward in the rankings. Where would you like to fall into place next year? What are you going to do to change things up to get from where you ended up towards the latter part of the top 10 to get closer to the front part of the top 10?
I'm starting to get older and wiser, and I really had a good feeling of how this race was going to pan out. I knew that if Macca was up the front and they pushed the bike, it could be his race. I knew Crow was going to be under some pressure this year. There's a lot of good swimmers and good bikers, and exactly that. There was a huge pack up the front of really good swimmers, good bikers, good runners. I think that's the way it's going to be for a while. There's guys that are just kind of getting into the sport, Ironman, the last few years, and I mean, they're really going to be a big pack for quite a while. And I guess I'll try and improve my bike a little bit. So if that pack does go a little bit, like the Reynard Tissink and Macca, when they break away from guys like Crowe and that pack, maybe in a couple of years I'll be able to go with them and then have that run as well.
It's funny you talk about the pack. Everybody hears that there's no drafting allowed, and people are like, well, hear this, a lot of the commentating about the pack. The pack isn't all about the draft. The pack is just more about mental support.
Yeah, it's about just pacing. You know, there is drafting in there because, I mean, it was terrible heading out there in the first 40k until I got my penalty, which was just for not getting past Crowe within 20 seconds. But, you know, I was always trying to stay near the front because that's, you know, that's my strength. I'm good at setting the pace on the rolling hills, but I'm not great at catching up as that roller coaster effect over the hills and trying to catch up on the downhills. So I'm always trying to stay near the front. I'd get to the front, second spot, and then guys would just come around and pull in illegally in front constantly. Before I knew it, I'd be sixth again, seventh, and then just constantly guys pulling in illegally, so I have to go back to the front again. And that's just when I started, that's when I got pinged, just for trying to just constantly just stay near the front. So, you know, I was trying to fight that for the whole start of the race, and it wasn't being, the draft busters weren't kind of seeing that and policing that too well. And so basically just trying to, yeah, that pack is definitely, you know, some people enjoy being near the back, some people enjoy, I'm much more comfortable up near the front. And yeah, mental support, pacing, but also, you know, you're just riding with the other guys in the race, so you kind of just, you know, Crowe's there, you know, Crowe will finish in the top 5, so, you know, that's kind of, he's there, and you can only do so much. You can't, if you can't ride off with Macca or Lieto or, you know, Voanacker, you just got to stay with the other guys that are in your race, you know, so it just depends what sort of day it is.
When you're out on a run, and it's a hot day like we had on Saturday, what goes on through your mind when you're out there by yourself? You don't maybe have a, you know, a running partner, you don't have anybody to key off because either they're way ahead of you or you're kind of in that no man's land. What goes on in your head?
Well, I got off the bike a long way back. I knew it was a fair way back, but I ran down a Lee and I really just, I had my Sunto foot pod on. I knew what pace I was running. I knew what pace I could run if all went well. I don't mind the heat, and I really just had nothing to lose as well here because I was so far back anyway. So I went down a Lee drive, came back, knew I was moving along well, and I asked my family and fiance where I was placed at that point, and they said I was in 18th, and I couldn't believe I was still back in 18th. You know, I'd already passed 14 people, 14 people already, and I was still in 18th. So I ran up Palani and just figured, well, let's just keep ticking away and see what happens. I just picked them off one at a time. Just tried to stay cool. I was very composed, more composed than I've been in last year. You know, I've trained for this a lot more than I had last year, so that obviously gives you a lot more focus in the race day when it's tough. And yeah, I don't know, I was just thinking, look, let's just go for this run. Let's see, let's prove to myself that I've done the training and I can do this, and it's enjoyable. You know, like I say, I love running. I really wanted to prove this to myself and to my friends as well. It's just a bit of fun as well. And yeah, so as I picked them off and cracked the top 10, and I was still feeling good. I was really pleased that all the hard work and all the effort and all the self-belief was you know, coming true, and yeah, it was just a really nice feeling to finish strong.
Do you know how close you came to winning that record?
No.
Just over a minute.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm still young, so I'm only 28 now. I'm 29 at the end of this month, so there's plenty more years to try and get there. And I actually thought, I knew it was going to be a fast day, and I said to a mate, look, I think there might be a couple that might even go under 240 this year, and, you know, secretly wishing I was going to be one of them. And, you know, I think in the future there will be guys running in the 240, under 240, and I hope I'll be one of them.
Well, Pete, thanks for meeting with us. Congratulations on another top 10 finish. Congratulations on another stellar year, and we look forward to watching you in 2011. I'm Kevin Koreski with FinishLineMultisport.com. This is Pete Jacobs. Thank you.